Acids, bases. This is for grade 10 CBSE board science. Exams are coming up. This is last minute revision. We will try to revise as many things as possible quickly. This is coming from chapter 2, acid, bases and salts. We will be revising, if possible, all of these 5, not necessarily in this order. What is the definition of acids and bases, then the properties, chemical properties of acids and bases. We will be seeing a pH scale and then practical applications of acids and base. First we have to understand the deviation from water. So first we will see water, which is supposed to be a neutral element, and this is the pH scale. I will be explaining that in a minute. Water being a neutral substance. Why it is neutral? Because when H2O is dissociated, we get hydrogen ion, which are positive ions, and then hydroxyl ions, which are OH with a negative charge. These two ions will be equal and having opposite charges. So that's why technically water is a neutral element, and that has been associated with a pH of 7. Now you will be having this question, why 7, why not 6, or why not 10,000 or something? There is a formal definition of pH scale, which is negative log of concentration of H plus ions to the base 10, and at 25 degrees Celsius the concentration of H plus ions is 1 into 10 raised to minus 7. So if you use that one, that if you take the logarithm, it comes out to be positive 7. But you don't have to remember that. Just for the time being, remember that the pH scale is centered about 7. The pH scale is centered about 7, and that center point is supposed to be the neutral point, which is neither acidic nor basic or nor alkaline, and water being a perfect neutral element. Remember, we are talking about distilled water, which does not have any impurities or any ions present associated with this, which is not true for daily water. This is true only for distilled water. But let's assume that we have pure water, and that will have equal concentrations of H plus ions and OH minus ions. That's why water will be perfectly neutral. It has been assigned a pH of 7. Now, if you go towards the left side, the concentration of H plus ions will increase, and that will make the solution or that particular substance acidic. Now, note that if you go farther from this neutral point, you are going to get increasingly acidic solution. So, if you are at 6, you will have mildly acidic. If you go towards 5, the acidicity will increase, and if you go towards, let's say, 2, 0, 2, 1, 0, then it will be like really strong acid. So, and that is true for the other side also. Farther you are from that neutral point, which is 7, the acidic nature or alkaline nature of that particular solution will be much stronger. On the left hand side, we have acids, and typical acids, let's give an example: hydrochloric acid, which is HCl, then we have sulfuric acid, H2SO4, and then we have nitric acid, HNO3. These are not the only 3 acids, but these are like quite strong acids. That's why I have mentioned them. We also have citric acid or acetic acid. These are kind of weaker acid, but these 3 are the strongest one. On the other side of the spectrum, on the other side of the pH scale, we are going away from 7 on the higher side, and that will be your base side. So these bases, not all bases actually dissolve in water. So those bases which actually dissolve in water, they will be referred as alkali. So bases and alkali, technically both are towards the higher side of the pH spectrum, but the small difference will be bases may or may not dissolve in water, but alkali, yes, they do dissolve in water. Now, typical examples will be sodium hydroxide and then potassium hydroxide. Those who recall periodic table, sodium and potassium being towards the leftmost side of the periodic table, they are having strong positive affinity, and that's why these two will be the strong bases. Now, other than that, we have ammonium hydroxide and other hydroxides also. They are comparatively weaker acids, but the point is bases will be towards the right side of the pH scale, higher than 7, somewhere between 7 and 14, and farther you are from 7, that will be the stronger acid, stronger base. So if you are at 7 and so if you are 7.5 or 8 or 8.5, that's not really strong. But if you go towards like 12, 13, 14, these are the really strong bases. Now, technical definition: acids they release H plus ions, and that's why the concentration of H plus ions will be more than concentration of hydroxyl ions. And when they dissolve in water, they give hydrogen plus, which is H plus ions. Typical characteristics: they have sour taste and they turn blue litmus paper red. Similarly, bases will release hydroxyl ions, hydroxide ions, OH minus, when they are dissolved in water. Their taste is bitter and they turn red litmus paper blue. Now, the best way to remember this is acids are red, bases are blue. So, what do you mean by acids are red? In case of acidic solution, red litmus paper will remain red and blue will become red. So, in acid everything is red, and in base everything is blue. Blue litmus paper will remain blue and red litmus paper will become also blue. The best way to remember is that base is blue, B is B. So that's how you can remember that. If you have any confusion, remember this is last minute revision. We are not going to study anything new, but we are going to see the tips and tricks to remember what you already know. Let's go to the next one, chemical properties of acids and bases in NCERT textbook. There are standard properties listed there. Let's try to make a column. They react with metals. For example, zinc is a metal, and here hydrochloric acid is an acidic solution. So now you will get a salt, which is zinc chloride. Now remember, zinc is a valency as 2, so that's why, and chlorine has valency 1. So you will not have ZnCl, you will have ZnCl2, because you require 2 chlorine atoms to bond with a bivalent or valency 2 zinc atom, and hydrogen gas will be released. This will be typical characteristics of an acidic solution reacting with metal. Another one will be carbonates. Carbonates will be giving you, such as sodium carbonate. They will give you salt. Again, sodium chloride is a typical salt. In fact, it's a common salt which we use in our food. And then, just to remember this one, okay, think about it as HCl splits into H and Cl, which is H plus and Cl minus, and N2CO3 splits as Na plus and CO3 double minus, minus. So now H will combine with, Na will combine with Cl, so it will get sodium chloride. That's one of the salt. And the second one is you get like HCO3, which is nothing but carbonic acid, which eventually split into water and carbon dioxide. So that's the way you can remember it. Now on the other side of the spectrum, we have bases. They can react with non-metals. Remember, here they are reacting with metals. On the other side, here we will be reacting with non-metals. So non-metal oxides such as carbon dioxide. Now carbon is a typical non-metal. Carbon dioxide, when it reacts with calcium hydroxide, which is like base solution, that will be calcium carbonate, and then you will get hydrogen. So calcium carbonate can be treated as salt, and then you will get water. Now purposely I have shown here in the middle, because this is what will happen if you mix acid with base. That will be neutralization, because whatever are the characteristics of base will be neutralized by characteristics of acid, and that's why you can use this reaction either for acid characteristic or base character. You can use it for both, because it's a mixture of what will happen when acid is mixed with base. So this is acid, it's here hydrochloric acid, and this is base, which is NaOH, sodium hydroxide. Now think about it, this will fill it as H plus and Cl minus, this will fill it as Na plus and OH minus. H plus will react with OH minus, typical displacement reaction or double displacement you can call it. Sodium chloride, which will be salt, and now H will remain with combine with OH minus, and that will give you water. So this can be used for acid, this can be used for base also, so this is useful. So typically, in a nutshell, acid plus base will give you salt plus water. This is neutralization reaction. Typical applications we use in acids in batteries, food preservation such as acetic acid, and cleaning agent, which is hydrochloric acid. In case of bases, soap is a very basic solution. We use that for paper manufacturing, cleaning agents such as sodium hydroxide. Now, examples that are given in the NCERT textbook, those are these typical examples where they have given. These are 5 different examples. Let's quickly talk a sentence each about it. pH in our digestive system, our acid, our stomach actually produces acid, hydrochloric acid, and that is responsible for digestion. Occasionally, we create more acid than required, so we have the problem of acidity, and it results in like bad burps or all those things. So, an example of the cure of this one, what is the solution for this thing? We have to take some solutions which are antacid, which is like neutralize as much as possible the acidity, and then you will feel much better. pH change in tooth decay. Our mouth is acidic, slightly acidic. The pH is between less than 5.5, but if it goes on the other side of the spectrum, which is less than 5.5, then we have the calcium enamel, which is the calcium coating on this thing, which is responsible for the strength of the tooth, and then it will decay, and our teeth will become brittle and they will start decaying. Some animals and some insects or some birds, they can use this. Say for example, honeybee, when it stings us, actually it releases some sort of acid, and that causes irritation and pain, and that's the reason we stay away from bee. And this is like self-defense mechanism. So this is quite observed in nature. Human body also requires some typical pH, and finally acid rain is there, which is very bad for environment and causes destruction for aquatic life. Now let's see one quick MCQ example. They have given us 5 solutions with different pH solution, and they are asking what are the characteristics, which one is neutral, which one is acidic, and so on. So there are 5 solutions. Their pH are mentioned here: 4, 1, 11, 7, and 9. Let's bring our pH scale. Remember, 7 is neutral, so that's easy to answer. That's water. And farther you go towards left, you get more and more acidic. Farther you go towards right, you get increasingly basic. So here we have, let's say 7. I'm going to write it in the middle. That's absolutely simple. And then on the right hand side, I will write 9. This is slightly basic. It's basic, but not as basic as the next one, which is 11. 11 is like strongly basic. On the other side, we have 4, which is mildly acidic. It's acidic, but not as acidic. The other one is really acidic, which is like pH 1. So they have asked us arrange them in the increasing order of hydrogen ion concentration. Now this is a tricky question, because here we have hydrogen ions, and this will have most hydrogen ion. This will have slightly less. This will have lesser or equal, and this will have least. So if you want to write them, arrange them in the ascending order of hydrogen plus ions concentration, then the least one, remember what is the keyword? Increasing order. So we should start with the least one, that's pH 11, then 9, then 7, then 4, and then 1. So the increasing order of hydrogen ion concentration, you will start with 11, and then you will go from right to left, because this is like higher concentration, and they have asked us in the increasing order. So that will be your solution. Let's quickly recap. Neutral is 7 pH, strongly alkaline is the farthest from this one, that's 11. Strongly acidic is farthest on the left hand side, which is 1. Weakly acidic, which is 4, closer to 7 but on the left side, and weakly alkaline is closer to 7 but on the right side. Now 10 milliliter of solution of, they have given us sodium hydroxide solution, which has to be neutralized with hydrochloric acid, and they have given one condition, which is 10 milliliter of sodium hydroxide combines with 8 milliliter. Now in the second scenario, they have double the quantity of sodium hydroxide. Now sodium hydroxide is double, so from 10 it becomes 20. So obviously the quantity required, which is from the acid side, which is HCl, that will also double. So here we have 8, that will become double, so that will become 16. So answer should be 16. Let's quickly write it down. 10 milliliter NaOH sodium hydroxide requires 8 milliliter of hydrochloric acid. On this side we have made it double, so 10 becomes 20, so this will automatically become also double. So the answer will be 16 milliliter of HCl, and that would be your answer, option D. A solution turns red litmus blue, its pH will most likely be. So let's recall, this is the pH scale. 7 is the neutral, left is acidic, right is basic, and remember, acid is red and base is blue. And one good thing they have done about this one is in color coded also. They have made this as a red and blue, which matches exactly. Maybe it's intentional. And as you can see here, it becomes more and more red. Here it becomes more and more blue. So the intensity or the strength of that particular solution increases as you deviate, as you go farther from 7. So acids are red, bases is blue, B is B. So that's how you remember it. Now in the question they have said red litmus paper becomes blue. So you are in the blue zone, and if you check one by one, 1 is in the red zone, left of 7. 4 is also in the red zone, left of 7. 5 is also in the left zone, which is 7, left of 7. These are all in the red area. These are acidic, so they are definitely not an answer. But 10 is on the right side, so that will be your basic side or alkaline side. So the correct answer, a solution that turns red litmus paper blue, that will be along the right side of the pH scale. So the final answer will be D, and that's your correct answer. That's all for the time being. Hopefully you have learned something. If you like this video, please visit our YouTube channel. If you want, you can visit our website also for AI generated notes as well as such videos without advertisements. And if you like this video, please share with your friends, comment, and if you have not done, subscribe. This is Prashant More, Prashant Sir, recording live for Vidyanti.com. Hopefully see you soon. All the best. Thank you very much.